Hola, buenos dias. My name is Stephen French, and if you're a GCSE Spanish student and you need a bit of help with the translation part of the exam, you're in the right place. So in this particular video, we're going to be looking at 10 sentences, and I'm going to show you how to translate them from English into Spanish, and it's on the international and global dimension topic. So, without further ado, let me spin down to my 10 sentences and let's get going. So, number 1. He realizes the importance of the environment and therefore he separates rubbish. How would I translate this into Spanish? My suggested translation is: se da cuenta de la importancia del medio ambiente y por lo tanto separa basura. Se da cuenta means he realizes. I realize is me doy cuenta de. But here we needed he realizes, so it's se da cuenta de la importancia, the word importance, del medio ambiente, of the environment. Now notice here, of the, de and el, of the, de el, have got together and they actually fuse together and now form del. So there you've got del medio ambiente. And therefore, y por lo tanto, great expression to know it Spanish, therefore, por lo tanto, separa la basura. Separa la basura, he separates the rubbish. Separar is the verb to separate. So separo would mean I separate, separas means you separate, and here we have separa, which means he or she or you polite separate. So this is what we call the third person. So once again, se da cuenta de la importancia del medio ambiente y por lo tanto separa la basura. Let's move on to number 2. I think that public transport, this should be reading that public transport is important. I use it a lot. Let's do it in Spanish. Pienso que el transporte público es importante. Lo utilizo mucho. I think that, pienso que, you could also use creo que. El transporte público, notice that the word público is after the word transporte, whereas in English we put it before, in Spanish it's afterwards. El transporte público es importante, is important. Lo utilizo mucho, I use it a lot. So it is important. Lo utilizo mucho. Notice here, I use it a lot. So the word order is slightly different in Spanish because saying it I use a lot. And this lo is masculine because it refers back to el transporte público. So there we've got it all together. Pienso que el transporte público es importante y lo utilizo mucho. Moving on now to number 3. Next week I'm going to give my pocket money to a charity that helps the environment. Okay, my suggested translation. La semana próxima voy a dar mi paga a una caridad que ayuda el medio ambiente. Lots of good things come out of this particular sentence in the translation. First part, la semana próxima, next week. Students of the internet, do you know what last week is? I'll give you a couple of moments. If you do know it, why don't you interact a bit? If you do know it, either shout out, if you don't mind doing that and you're a bit of an extrovert, or just say it quietly, or just say it internally. So what is the word for, the one I'm after is last week. There you go, la semana pasada. Excellent. So la semana pasada, voy a dar, I am going to give. There's voy a, I am going, and there's the verb to give. He is going to give. It would be va a dar. Or we are going to give would be vamos a dar. But in this particular sentence, I am going to give, voy a dar, moving on, mi paga, that's the word for pocket money, a una caridad que, a una caridad, the word for charity is una caridad que. Now, one or two top tips now coming up. Caridad means charity. First top tip is, all words in Spanish ending in IDAD, I repeat that again, IDAD, correspond to ITY in English. So, caridad, charity. What do you think publicidad means? Yes, that's it. It means publicity. Publicidad, IDAD on the end of publicidad, publicity. I'm now going to give you a couple more, and I'll go quiet after I said the Spanish, so you can interact a bit and say the English. How about la nacionalidad? Yeah, that's it. La nacionalidad means nationality. How about another one? La publicidad. What do you think about la publicidad? Spot on. Publicity. Top tip number one, IDAD in Spanish equals ITY in English. Number one. Second top tip, all of these are feminine. All words in Spanish ending in IDAD are feminine. Or, here comes the corny joke, all dads are feminine. Little round of applause for that. I'm sure you appreciated that. All dads are feminine. Sometimes the corny bits of comedy actually help, and it might stick in the mind. So, IDAD, ITY in Spanish. Let's get in English. Let's keep going on. That helps the environment. Que ayuda el medio ambiente. Keyword there, the environment, and medio ambiente. Moving nicely forward now. In the past, people did not look after the environment. My suggested translation, en el pasado, la gente no... Now, we don't need that, so it should really be no cuidaba del medio ambiente. Take that out, so no cuidaba del medio ambiente. In the past, en el pasado. So, what's the Spanish for in the future? There you go, en el futuro. La gente, people. We're going to say no cuidaba, knock this out, no cuidaba, did not look after. Now that is from the verb cuidar, and it's in the imperfect tense. And here you could say did not look after, or did not used to look after the environment. Del medio ambiente. Now what we've got here is what the word de, meaning of, and el, meaning the, and they've gone together to fuse together to form the word del. So, no, forget that, cuidaba del medio ambiente. Top stuff, people. Number 5, my dad likes to buy environmentally friendly products. Well done, Dad. And here's the translation into Spanish. A mi padre le gusta comprar productos ecológicos. A mi padre le gusta. My dad likes. Bit of a strange way in Spanish they do it. The way you do it in Spanish. So how would you say, I like to buy? That's it. A mí me gusta comprar. But here we've got a mi padre le gusta comprar. And moving on here, we've got productos ecológicos. Couple of things to say here. Ecológicos is going after the word productos, point number 1. And point number 2, because productos is masculine plural, so is ecológicos. To say that once again, a mi padre le gusta comprar productos ecológicos. And now on to number 6. I prefer to walk than go by car to school. There's prefiero, keyword, prefiero ir. I prefer to go. A pie means on foot. It's the same as to walk. Que ir, than to go. In Spanish we're saying to go. By car, en coche, al colegio. just looking at the expression en coche, transport crops up a lot in the exam. This is en coche. How do you say by train? That's it, en tren. How do you say by plane? En avión. Fantastic. How do you say by bike? En bicicleta. The reason I'm stressing this is in Spanish, they're saying on stuff. In English, we tend to say by bike, by car, by train. Okay? Just those little differences sometimes add up to a lot when you're doing your translations. And last but not least, we've got al colegio. Al is a fusion of a and el. Is going together to form al. Okay? To school. Literally the words mean to the school. Let's pop that all together. Prefiero ir a pie que ir en coche al colegio. Fantastic. Number 7. You're doing well. Stay with it. 3 left. All of this will pay off. Believe you me, it will pay off. The more you become accustomed to this sort of thinking and exposing yourself to this sort of stuff, even though you don't have to, even though it's not your homework, it will pay off. I promise. The best thing is that we are now looking after the planet. Lo mejor es que. Okay? The best thing. Super important phrase this. Lo mejor es que. The best thing. Use it in your writing. Use it in your speaking. It's a great phrase, scores highly. But as another tip, what's the opposite of lo mejor es que? Sometimes doing opposites is a great way of learning vocab. Absolutely. John and Juanita and Rosita, you've got that right. So, lo mejor es que, it's the best thing. Lo peor es que, the worst thing is, and that's the opposite there. Try and lock that one away. Lo mejor es que ahora, now, cuidamos del planeta. We look after, cuidamos del planeta. Bit of a block phrase there. Cuido del planeta. I look after the planet. Cuidamos del planeta. Oh, and there's some funny stuff going on here. Planeta ends in A, but it's actually masculine. So, sometimes when you get in the hang of something else comes along and you've learned that all words ending in A are feminine, and then this one comes up. Not to worry, just learn it. Learn it in a block phrase, cuidamos del planeta, and that will do the job. Number 8. I think it is important to look after... Correction. I think it is important to look after the earth. Creo que es importante cuidar de la tierra. Okay, excuse me. Creo que, I think that. Perhaps you know another phrase to I think that. Absolutely spot on. Pienso que, I think that. It is important. Es importante. Cuidar de la tierra. So this expression cuidar is coming up in a lot of these, to look after. And in this topic area, it will crop up a lot. And excuse me, being an Englishman, I need a cup of tea. So I'm just going to have a quick cup of tea. And I'm going to say hola to all of the people who are outside of the UK at the moment. And I know that lots of people are watching this, perhaps in the United States, or in Hong Kong, or in the Middle East, or in lots of other countries, because I can see from my analytics in YouTube that this is being seen all over the world. Cheers. So now, excuse me if you could hear me swallowing that. So number 9, in our school we do not waste water or energy. En nuestro colegio, there's the word for our, en nuestro colegio, in our school, no malgastamos, we do not waste. Malgastamos is from the verb malgastar. I waste would be, that's it, malgasto. I don't waste, no me malgasto. And here we've got no malgastamos. We do not waste energy or water, ni agua, ni energía. Ni agua, ni energía. Fantastic stuff. And last but not least, this summer I will watch the World Cup on TV with my family. En el verano voy a ver la Copa Mundial en la tele con mi familia. En el verano voy a ver la Copa Mundial en la tele con mi familia. En el verano, in the summer. What's in the winter? That's it. En el invierno. Again, these are opposites, or especially the seasons here. If you know how to say in spring, that's it. En primavera. En el verano. En otoño, in autumn. Y en el invierno, or en invierno, in the winter. Voy a ver, I am going to see or watch. Voy a ver, voy a, I'm going to. La Copa Mundial, the World Cup. En la tele, on the telly. Con mi familia. Have all sorts of variations here. Con mis amigos, etc., etc., etc. So, there we have it. Hope you found it useful. If you have found it useful, please subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to be making a lot more coming up shortly. So, hasta pronto, amigos míos. Hola, amigos míos. If you found that video to be of any use at all, why don't you consider subscribing to the channel? Hasta pronto, amigos míos.